will now just quickly revise all the ethical theories that we have studied. So first of all, we have divided the ethics into main two parts, meta ethics and normative ethics. And there is final third part also, applied ethics. Now, meta ethics, we have studied that it deals with the theoretical constructs of the ethics. That is, it talks about what is morality, what is value, etc. etc. While normative ethics, it deals with exactly what action should I take, what thought should I have, what action should I not take, and so on. Okay. So in simple case, we have understood that meta ethics deals with the abstract part, while normative ethics directly relates to what we should do and not do. So do's and don'ts, this come in normative ethics, and abstract construction comes in meta ethics. Now, if we only talk about first meta ethics, then there are two broad classifications. On the basis of classification 1, we can have three categories of meta ethics. The first branch is cognitivism, second one non-cognitivism, and the third one causal-realism. Now what cognitivism says? Cognitivism is related to non-emotional components of ethical conducts. Okay, non-emotional components. And further, if we talk about cognitivism, then there are two sub branches of this. The first one is moral realism, and what it says that the one thing that I should add is that cognitivism also says that it relates to non-emotional components, and further it says that there are some declarative statements. There are some declarative statements about ethical conducts. Now, if we talk about moral realism, then it says that these declarative statements are objective facts. These are objective facts. But moral anti-realism says that no, they are not objective facts, but they are subjective facts. Okay, so this was cognitivism. Now we will move on to non-cognitivism, and what it says, it relates to the emotional components of ethical conduct, emotional components, and it says that there are no declarative statements, which was cognitivism saying. Further, there are three categories, three sub branches of non-cognitivism. The first one is emotivism, and what it says that your ethical or your moral conducts, or we should say your moral principles, evolve from your emotions only. Okay, and the second one, prescriptivism, it says that your moral principles evolve from your own self and you prescribe to others also. And the third one, expressivism, it says that moral conducts or moral principle evolve from yourself and you just express them. You do not try to impose these moral principles on other individuals of society. This is what expressivism says. And finally, the third category of meta ethics is quasi-realism, and it is nothing but a mixture of cognitivism and non-cognitivism. Cognitivism was saying there are some declarative statements, non-cognitivism was saying there are no declarative statements, and it is saying causal-realism is saying there are some declarative statements but they are not universally applicable. Okay, so this was the classification of meta ethics on the basis of first classification. Now there is also another type of classification, classification 2, and under this there are mainly two categories of meta ethics. The first one is moral universalism, and what it is saying, it is saying that there are some set moral standards which are applicable throughout the universe, okay, without exception. And opposite of this is moral relativism, and it is saying that no, there are moral standards but you cannot apply universally throughout the world. It depends upon the society, nation, religion, etc. what are their own moral standards. Okay, now this completes the meta ethics part. Now we will move on to normative ethics, and we have studied that there are main three categories of normative ethics. And first of all, repeating, normative ethics deals with do's and don'ts. Okay, so the three categories are virtue ethics, then deontological and theological. Now the first one, virtue ethics, what it was saying? It was saying that your action will be ethical if the person who is performing that action is a virtuous person. Okay, so this first branch virtue ethics deals with the qualities of the person. Okay, it does not relates to the action, it does not relates to the consequences, but it relates to the virtues of the person itself. Okay, this is what virtue ethics is saying. So the person should be good. If the person is good, then his action will always be ethical. Now, the second type is deontological. And deontological, which is called as duty ethics, what it was saying? It was saying that for action to be ethical, the inherent quality of action must be good. The inherent quality of action must be good. So deontological ethics does not concern with the person who is performing the action. It is not concerned with the consequences of the action. It is concerned with the action itself, the nature of the quality of action itself. This was deontological ethics. Now, there are two main sub branches of this. The first one is Kant categorical imperatives. And what it was saying, if you want to determine whether your action is good or not, the inherent quality must be good, and it flows from the your own moral reasons, and that are called as the categorical imperatives. So it was saying that if two main categorical imperatives are satisfied, then the action becomes moral action. And what were those two categorical imperatives? The first one was the universalizability principle, and the second one was humanity principle. Now the second one was Rawls contractualism. And what it was saying, for inherent quality of action must be good, it is decided by the mutual contract between among everyone. And for that contract to be ethical, everyone should be unbiased. And for everyone to be unbiased, they must sit behind veil of ignorance. And here veil of ignorance implies that when they are signing the contract, they do not know about themselves, from which class, from which category, from which religion, from which nation they belong to. Okay, so this was Rawls contractualism, and this completes the deontological ethics. The third one is teleological ethics, and teleological ethics is called as the consequentialist approach. That is, this third branch concerns with the final outcomes of your action. So again revising, virtue ethics deals with the person itself, deontological deals with the nature of action, and teleological deals with the consequences of action. And it is saying if consequences are good, then action is good. So here means, or I should say, the ends justify the means. If your ends are good, then means are always good. Now under teleological there were three branches. The first one, utilitarianism, and what it says, if your action is providing greatest good to greatest number of people, then it is an ethical action. And further there were two branches, act utilitarianism and rule utilitarianism. And act utilitarianism relates with the short term consequences of action, while rule utilitarianism deal with the long term consequences of your action. Okay, now the second one was ethical egoism, and it was saying that if your action is providing good outcomes to your own self, that is, if the action is fulfilling your own self-interest, maximizing your self-interest, then that action will be an ethical action. And finally, state consequentialism, it is saying that if any action benefits state, or if it fulfills the goal of state, then that action is ethical action. Okay, so now we have understood that all these three are concerned with the consequences. Utilitarianism concerns with the good consequence for greater number of people. Ethical egoism concerned with the consequences for one own self, and state consequentialism deals with the consequence, the final outcomes for the state. Okay, so this was the complete discussion on theoretical part of ethics. Okay, this is an important part. So now what we'll do, we will take some important terms which are related to ethics, but there are some differences between them too. So we will take the definitions of some related term to ethics. Thank you.